Today I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of the MDR services that RADICL provides. Before we get started, I'd like to ask a couple discovery questions just to make sure that we can provide the exact fit for your tech stack versus what we can provide services for. So, one of the first questions is, I'll just break this down that our MDR service is offered in three different spaces or flavors. The first one is around identity monitoring. So monitoring the inboxes or email accounts tied to a user. Do you guys currently use something like Google Workspaces or Microsoft 365 or GCC High? You do? Perfect. We can tie into that. We'll bring in the audit logs tied to those accounts. That gives us visibility to see who's logging in from where and what type of activities are going in. It gives us that kind of insight around the users. So that way we can detect if somebody's logging in from a new location, like are they randomly logging in from a new country? Should they be doing that? And our team can detect that and respond to it. Now, one of the other things is endpoint monitoring. This is basically, are you guys using Windows, Linux, Mac workstations, laptops, servers that we could install this endpoint agent on to monitor? Yeah, so good question. What type of agent is it? We actually go to market with Microsoft Defender. So you mentioned you're using Microsoft 365 today. If you're already using the certain licensing, we could definitely look at that and make sure it's a good fit. Additionally, we go to market with CrowdStrike Falcon, which is an endpoint monitoring tool that is an industry leader. And we can also support in some situations SentinelOne, so we could explore that too. You've heard of CrowdStrike and you're interested in that? Perfect. Yeah, that is a good go-to. Our security operations team loves it, so that's a good approach. Now the third module would be around network monitoring. Do you guys use a Palo Alto, Fortinet, Cisco Meraki, firewall or anything along those lines? You do? You use Meraki? Perfect. It's very easy for us to integrate with, and we can bring in that data very quickly and easily. Great. Well, now that we're on the same page about the different technologies and what we can bring in and how we can monitor it, let's talk a little bit about your current process. How do you guys today get alerts on security incidents? Oh, you don't? You don't get any alerting today? Yeah, new company, you're still kind of building out the ecosystem. That makes sense. Well, that's definitely what RADICL is here to support you and to provide some services around. So I think we can definitely dive in and explore how RADICL can help you out with that. So with that, let me go and show off our webpage here. What we're looking at is the RADICL demo system. And we're currently looking at the MDR or respond page for that. So this is where our security team lives and breathes. This is where you can come in, see the work that they're doing, see the value of what they're bringing to your organization. The top half of the page gives you a quick overview of the different cases and their current statuses. Then the lower half of the page is about the different cases that are currently open or in progress. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and click into one of these really quick so you can see how we approach things. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to navigate to our notes page and open up this alert assessment. The only reason I want to show this off is because this is the first thing that will happen when an alert is triggered, is our team will go through and create an alert assessment. This assessment documents our investigation, what we find, what the situation is, what our investigation leads to, as well as any rationale or actions taken, and any follow-up actions are documented here as well. So this gives us that quick point for you to come in and see where everything is at. And as you go through that, you might generate some questions. You might want to learn a little bit more about our rationale or how we came to the conclusions we did. And so with that, you can actually pivot over to our inquiries page. This is where you can ask questions to our security operations team. And you can also do this in general form as well, but this is specifically tied to that case. So what I'll do is I'll click into this inquiry from our customer in this situation where an employee reported a phishing attempt. As our customer looked at this, they wanted to learn a little bit more. And so they actually asked, how can we educate the rest of their users about this phishing campaign? So when I move over to this response tab, you can see that the security engineer was happy to help out. They talked about how they gathered screenshots during the investigation of the phishing page. They wrote up a quick kind of little snippet on the general flow of the phishing campaign. And they're able to share that with the end users so they could get that education out to their employees right away and improve the awareness of the team to this type of phishing campaign. In addition to that, one of the things I'll highlight is the different stages of our case lifecycle. The one that really stood out to me when I joined RADICL was this resilience stage, which is an opportunity for our security team to go through and after everything is back to normal, for us to look at the situation and provide feedback or kind of think about what went well, what didn't go well, and how we could do better in the future. The reason this is great is because that a lot of organizations close cases and move on as fast as possible. And what we're trying to do is take an opportunity to learn, grow, and continue to improve. Now, in some situations, this is changing internal RADICL processes. In other situations, it's us making recommendations as kind of a security partner or extension to your team of how to improve your security at your organization. So in this situation, we actually had a follow-up task that we generated to talk about with the customer. What we wanted to do is we noticed through this phishing attempt and through an account compromise that multi-factor authentication was not enabled, making it that much easier for the attacker to get in once they had stolen the credentials through that phishing campaign. Now, with this, we explained steps of what needs to be enabled and how to do it, and we're able to share this with the customer or with their managed service provider so that we could work with implementing this. And the great thing too is that we'll have those follow-up conversations as well of helping explain what it is, why it brings value, and what the benefits or risks could bring to the organization. But this is just a great example of the services that RADICL MDR provides. In addition to that, it's just important to know that we'll own it from end to end, being very involved in owning the process during that recovery phase, doing our best to remove the malware, get the systems cleaned up so that your end users can continue to work, so that you're not distracted nights and weekends or during your day while you're working on projects, responding to these alerts as they surface. Instead, our team is there to provide that service and support you through it. And that's all done by our security operations team based in Boulder, Colorado, manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we'd love to dive in and give you a little bit more deep dive with this with our solutions engineer. Or if you're interested, we could get you pricing and we could start talking about how we can roll this out and get this deployed to your team as well.